Okay, so what I did was I took out the reservoir and the top radiator hose. I disconnected the two hoses, the one that connects to the reservoir and the one that connects to the bottom, and I let it drain out. So what my next step would be is, obviously, I could go ahead and use an impact to take this pulley off, because you more than likely are going to need an impact to go ahead and take that off. And take these, I think, 10mm bolts out of the water pump pulley. Take them all off, and basically that prepares us for the two pulleys coming in, because these are the easiest. That one's the hardest. Now, if you have an automatic or a manual, it'll be easier. You put it in gear, you can go ahead and just get a huge breaker bar, impact, whatever, and take that bolt out. But with me, because I have automatic, I either gotta use the impact to get it off, or I'm gonna have to use a I'm gonna have to hold the torque converter, or I think flex plate, to prevent it from turning over, and go ahead and use a breaker bar and take it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take both of these off first, and we're gonna go from there. Okay, so using my earthquake impact, Harbor Freight, to be honest, pretty good deal. It's like 300 bucks, very strong. I was able to get off this relatively easily. Obviously took off the pulley, put it there, water pump pulley, put it off there. These are 10mm, and this is a 24mm nut. So the next step would be to get this off. That's an 18mm, but the problem is I don't have space. So as you can see, the 18mm there fits pretty snugly. What do you call this? I'm gonna go ahead and go purchase a short socket 18mm and see if I was able to get this off, because I bought a new ARP harmonic balancer bolt, which I'm also waiting, but I feel like it is gonna get delayed because it's FedEx. All my other pulleys should be here, so I'll replace that one. And this one, like I said, you have to take your fan off because you have no space. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, wait for it to come here, then I'm gonna go ahead and continue this video. Alright guys, a little before the FedEx package still has not come, but these are all the bolts they took off. Basically the tensioner. I might replace this, get a new one, and then take off the bolt, obviously, because I'm gonna have a new pulley on it. Here's the idler pulley, alternator pulley, water pump pulley. So I got them all out. I put all the bolts back where they're supposed to be, so obviously I can remember where they left. So other than that, really all I'm gonna do is kind of just wait till my package come in, and then from that point we can go from there. So wait till the package comes. So FedEx finally got my package in. So this is the SR Performance Pulleys. This is the water pump pulley. Here is the alternator pulley, and this is the crankshaft pulley. So we're gonna go ahead and compare these to the right stock ones, and yeah, we'll go from there. So at the moment, this is the setup for our harmonic balancer pulley. It's a 19mm here, and these are like 12mm, and then I went ahead and attached it all, put the bolt back here, so it's like a grabbing point, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing out. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going slowly, and yeah, slowly and then surely, until we basically pull the whole thing out, and then yeah, we'll start from there again. Okay, so now we're setting up the crankshaft pulley. I thought this would like take the stock pulley's position, but it's not. Basically, this like long part is gonna go into the crankshaft, and this is gonna go on top. So what we're gonna do is line up that keyhole with this keyhole. It's kind of like oops, shit, like that, sorry. And then we're gonna line up the holes, and then we're gonna line up those front notches with this one notch. So basically that key line with that key line. So we're gonna go ahead and line it up, set it together. Then you get supplied bolts, and you're gonna go ahead and put the bolts in, put the washers, and we're gonna go ahead and run down by hand. Apparently you're supposed to do it by hand until they're seated completely together, but I mean they're seating flushly, so we don't gotta do that. Apparently these are 11 millimeters. Why is it 11 millimeters? I don't know. Why can't they just make it like a 10? Because 11 is such a weird size. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up to 12 foot-pounds, so they're not super tight. Let's see. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put it to. Still, this hand tying this all the way. So basically, it's like this, and this is gonna go inside there, but it's not fully, I guess, seated together yet. Or I guess there's gonna be some gappage right there, but we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down completely. Again, like 12 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna be right back. Alright, so we use my little 20-volt impact to go ahead and ride this down all the way. I think this is as close as it's gonna get, as seated as it's gonna get. I did not know it comes with a new 10.9 volt crankshaft bolt, so it was awkward because I was waiting for my ARP one, and I can't use it because that's meant for a stock crank. This is not. This needs a longer one, so this is gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. This is to 60 foot-pounds according to the instructions. So what I'm gonna do now is just go over here and just check to make sure that this will thread on there, and it does, no problem. Very nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this. Before I do, I went ahead and bought a red RTV from Permatex, this high temp gasket maker, or yeah. We're gonna go ahead and, according to the manual here, we're gonna put some RTV on the, what do you call this? Let's see here. This high temp RTV silicone into the keyway. High temp was gasket maker. So it's going to handle heavy duty application, extreme temperature conditions for best result. Boom, boom, boom. So basically, we're going to go ahead and use this red RTV high temp gasket maker. I mean, it's not silicone, but we'll go ahead and put that onto the snout of this and go ahead and place it in place there. And we're going to go ahead and use the, I don't think we could use the stock factory bolt to actually run this down, but we're going to use the washer obviously on this one. We're going to take this off. That's the old one. You're not even supposed to use it anyways. We're going to go ahead and use this one, clean it up, and we're going to go ahead and get this back in place. So here it is at the moment. I went ahead and put red RTV on right there. We're going to use the new bolt and with the factory washer. We're going to go ahead and put the bolt in, and I'm going to go ahead and run it down with my hand till it bottoms out. And basically they want you to do 60 foot-pounds of torque. I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with the Ugga Dugga. Just a little bit of a bap bap. There you go. Get the pulley in place. We're going to hit it with the bap bap and 18mm socket, and we'll go from there. Alright, so here's the alternator pulley. It's on. You're going to use the bigger spacer of the two to put it on the back, then the pulley, then the washer, then this. I messed up and thought you were supposed to use both of these because according to them you're supposed to use both, or it looks like you're supposed to use both, but the bigger one of the spacers, they fit fine. Went ahead and impacted in, so now it's moving, so everything's all Gucci right there. So next, I'm just gonna put everything back together and go ahead and start the car. Okay, so here's me putting the tensioner and the pulley, because these pulleys are not coming until Wednesday. I want my car to be functional. I don't want it to be here like, you know, non-moving. So I'm gonna put everything back because those two pulleys are very easy to take off. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back, put the reservoir back, pour coolant here, let it run, and see how it's running, obviously, because there's a brand new pulleys on it. Hopefully everything goes fine, but from the looks of it, everything lines up, everything looks pretty good. So yeah, let me put the rest of it back, but at the moment looks pretty good. All right, it's the next day. Did a little bit of driving. I didn't go to the freeway yet, but I'm eventually gonna. But at the moment, it seems fine. The only problem is I think it heats up a little quicker than usual. So probably because of getting rid of parasitic drag, it makes probably the water pump, I guess, less efficient, and the alternator may be less efficient. According to SR, it doesn't, but when I was bleeding out the coolant, it seemed like it did heat it up faster than usual, so that could be a thing. But we have a bigger radiator and all that, so I don't think it's gonna be a big problem. But other than that, it seems pretty cool. It's relatively easy to install it, not too bad. So I mean, yeah, pretty easy install. I would say it just takes a little bit because you're gonna have to take out like the reservoir and everything. Well, other than that, pretty straightforward. So I mean, give it a try. At the moment, it's not too bad. I mean, I'll make feature updates if for some reason I'll say it's worth it or not. At the moment, I can't really say. I haven't drove it enough. So yeah, BBK or SR, I think they're both pretty good. So yeah, give it a try. 100 yard pulleys.